Monday rapid fire time here, guys. While we're managing risk into April 2nd, let's crack in. The US stock market is in free fall at the moment, and this is not where we want to be taking risk, especially in altcoins. So we are watching Bitcoin's levels first and foremost. That will guide our positioning. I don't think we want to look at altcoins at all in this environment, so I'm just putting that to a side. In fact, I'm shorting altcoins at the moment based on a few triggers that have fired over the last 48 hours. Also been very wary into April 2nd, which Trump is calling Liberation Day in terms of the reciprocal tariffs that he is going to issue onto essentially everyone on Earth. Already tariffs have come into effect. I'm very much of the view that tariffs themselves haven't had any fundamental effect on global economies, but it's more so the uncertainty that markets hate, the fear, what might be, pre-positioning for this essential tax on the rest of the world that's changing the dynamics of how these trade systems work around the globe. It's really shaking up the global economy. We have to expect volatility, which is why Joe and myself and masterminds have been really strong on managing risk into April 2nd. And while I think Q2 is going to be a lot better for risk markets, we have to get through this period. The more uncertainty, we need to find some kind of low here, whether it be 78,000, 76,000, 70,000, we just don't know. But it's good to err on the side of caution into a very consequential macro event on the 2nd. Could be a nothing burger, but I don't think so. I think markets are going to react pretty strongly leading into that event. And I think it's going to be to the downside a little bit further. Could be wrong. That's why we have overhead strategies and also downside strategies. Looking just here at the S&P 500, just illustrating what I've just said is capital is seriously rotating out of the stock market. The thesis that I've had for a while is that Trump percent and the rest of the administration that are focused on the economy actually want the US 10-year yield to collapse. They want it to come down, lower those interest rates to boom the economy. And that capital has to come from somewhere. To get those yields down, the bonds have to be bought. So a lot of that money looks to be coming from the US stock market. Bond yields are slowly dripping lower, so the grind is happening, but I think there needs to be a bit more pain on the agenda for that to happen. Now, just looking here in a technical sense, I've had the breakdown from this aggressive uptrend that we've been in for over 12 months, and look, you can go back and just, it's been an up and only market essentially, apart from the correction here or there. This is not different. This looks like just a pretty standard correction in the stock market, but it could get pretty violent from here. Lost the 200, come back above it, trapped some longs, and now it's closed well beneath the 200, and it's sort of heading towards the squiggle that I've got painted there. In my newsletter, I had the hammer there. I thought that's the area where if it's going to get rejected, it is. So it has come down. We could also get that fall into that lower low situation, get a bull divergence, and then we could also go lower, or we could have bottomed. We just don't know. We're going to have to wait for the tea leaves to fall. So just a little bit more there on the Trump tariffs there. You can maybe pause that and read. This is a great thread if you want to go to the Twitter publicity letter. I just did a bit of a in-depth look at this for the mastermind clients as well on what it kind of means. It's just more uncertainty. Markets hate that. So we just need to clear this April 2nd period. And I think the max pain for tariff fear is approaching, whether it be now or on April 2nd. But again, most markets are going to be positioned bearish into the event. Okay, so Bitcoin, what I'm looking at here, just broadly the structure here on a shorter term sense is definitely bearish. We've been rejected off the downtrend again, so we're clearly downtrending. Bears are in control. Get bullish again if we can somehow punch through and close above that 87,500 region, above that 10 weekly EMA. But right now, all eyes are on this 50-week moving average down here at 76,000. That's where the circle is. In bull markets, in Bitcoin bull markets at least, we've never gone beneath it. We can wick beneath it, that's fine, but if we weekly close beneath that $76,000 level, we're in a bit of trouble for lower prices, but I think this is going to hold us up. So all my alerts, you can see, are just structured through this region. I want to be buying value through there, not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, managing some risk here, but want to be rebuying in that region. So far, this has been fairly low key when we see major stock markets are really taking a bath at the moment. So Bitcoin doing okay here, but I think as soon as you start to say this is holding up pretty well is generally when we see things crash into these lower levels. So I'm looking at 76,000 as the level. If we get a daily or weekly close beneath 76,800, then I think those low 70s are on the agenda. I have bids down at 70,000 as well. I'm also hedging my position up here in my Bitcoin and also shorting some altcoins. So look, upside and downside strategy is absolutely king. This week in the newsletter, I will be talking about how to make money in all market conditions. So it'll be longing, shorting, buying spot, all that. It's not a foolproof strategy. And if you're going to do it, you're going to be taking on some risk, but there are ways to absolutely put some sophistication into your overall short-term, medium-term, and long-term strategy. So guys, hope you've enjoyed this episode. To summarize, I'm seeing downside in the near term. I think we hopefully bottom within April, and then we see a much better Q2 based on market dynamics around the M2 expansion, which is generally about a 1 to 3 month lag. So I think that will take over once all this tariff stuff is behind us. All right, guys, have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you again soon. Bye-bye.